What's going on, gang? Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't looked at the title of this video I'm finna react to, you might want to, because it's finna be a banger. No more talking. Finna get right into this one.
Welcome to Hood War Stories. In this episode, I'll be discussing the life of Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29th, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, located just 25 miles from downtown Chicago. Gary, Indiana was founded by U.S. Steel in 1906. As they built the sprawling Gary Works factory there, the jobs it created pulled people from all around to its state-of-the-art factory. Among those who came to Gary were European immigrants and Black Americans, fleeing the Jim Crow laws that were then in the South. By 1950, it is said that Gary was one of the most segregated cities in the country. Black people were only allowed to live in the Midtown section and were forbidden to cross the Broadway Bridge into the South Side, unless for work. At its peak, it was a very diverse and prosperous city. At one point, it was dubbed the city of the century, but then fortunes took a massive change with the onset of white flight. Since then, the city of Gary has had one of America's highest percentage of Black Americans at 81%. Gary's decline was brought on by the growing overseas competition in the steel industry, which caused mass layoffs and factories to be closed. Since the closures, the city has been left in ruins, impoverished, with most of the city being dilapidated, an influx in gangs and high crime rates. In 1993, Gary earned itself the title as the murder capital of the United States. At that point, it had a murder rate of 91 per 100,000 residents, 3 times more than Chicago.
So far, man, we getting a little background of Gary, Indiana. Let's tap back in.
Dying in the streets.
Dying in the streets, houses, fields of Gary, Indiana, on the way to reclaiming its title as the murder capital of the United States. Numbers are so staggering.
That's what it took, so now we on the map. So we like whatever.
You see him with that Michigan.
So whatever.
Come on now,
In
go blue.
1993, Gary had more murders per capita, 109 among its 119,000 residents, than any other U.S. city. After a decline last year, Gary is now on a pace to smash its all-time record.
What is it going to take to stop the baby from dying?
Born to Joe Jackson, who's from Arkansas, and Catherine, who's native to Alabama, Michael is the 8th of 10 children in the Jackson family. He grew up in a small 2-bedroom home on 2300 Jackson Street. The home consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom.
What the fuck is the odds of that? They lived on
A
Jackson.
2-bedroom home on
That's crazy.
2300 Jackson Street. The home consisted of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 10 kids, 2 adults. You do the math.
And 622 feet of living space. At one point, all 11 members of the Jackson family resided in this small space.
Bro, that's people in the living room. And there's probably like 4 people. The living room is full. It was almost like granny house.
Michael once said, "You can take 5 steps from the front door and you'll be at the back." By the time Michael was 7, in the mid-60s, his neighborhood dramatically declined. Gangs and drugs began to thrive in the community. The growing influence of gangs worried Michael's parents. In turn, Joe Jackson's discipline hardened. The timing coincided with the increase in gang violence. They were only encouraged to play with one another, and sleepovers with friends were never allowed. Once the gang threat became an issue, the Jackson children were kept indoors more, and even kept from school on the last day of the year, because that was when the kids settled scores. Michael's 2 older brothers.
If you seen the movie, you know. Michael older brothers had got into that fight after school.
Would walk through the Delaney projects regularly to get to school.
That shit was funny.
That's where many of the gangs would congregate. The gang members would show love to the brothers for being in the Jackson
Them
fight.
little niggas was thugging, man. Look at these little niggas, especially a nigga with the purple and yellow flower shirt on. That little nigga looked like he was thugging. And bro to the left, my bad. And bro to the right, he don't want to be there.
But then the gang started encroaching on the Jackson block, where they witnessed multiple rumbles between rival gangs. Fighting eventually turned into shootouts, which would have Michael and his family ducking to the ground trying to dodge bullets. Joe Jackson was determined to get his family out of gangland warfare. In August of 1969, Motown Records moved Michael and the rest of the Jackson 5 to Los Angeles, where they were put in various hotels. By the late 70s, Michael was increasingly looking to pursue a solo career. With the help of a music producer, Quincy Jones, Michael produced a solo album, Off the Wall. The album was a great success, eventually selling over 20 million copies. His second solo album, Thriller, launched Michael Jackson into a position as the most famous pop singer in the world, with little commercial.
Okay, so it's this thing I say, right? Look, it's just me, okay? I don't think. Okay, listen. The two Michael Jacksons you seen, only one of them was really Michael Jackson. It's just me. It's just me. But when I look at this guy,
Launched Michael Jackson into a
they got
position
the up
as a
close. When I look at this guy, right? Now look at him, like, okay. Characteristics is there. We go back. Okay, it matches up. That's like, okay, that's him. That's him. We're gonna go back again. The nose is matching up. I mean, I guess not right there. Man, he had a couple nose jobs. Damn, Mike. But yeah, okay, so that's Michael. That's questionable. That's Michael for sure. Like, that's him. Now, we finna get into not Michael Jackson, okay?
rose to number 1 on album
We
sales.
ain't gonna get that deep.
It remained at the number 1 spot for a grand total of 37 weeks, attaining 100 million global sales and 29 million sales in the US. Following the successful Thriller singles, The Girl Is Mine and Billie Jean, Beat It was
The Girl
released
Is
on
Mine.
February 14th, 1983, as the album's third single. The music video for Beat It helped establish Michael as an international pop icon. The inspiration to Beat It in this video came from the Jackson family experiencing gang activity in Gary, Indiana. The video, which cost Michael $150,000 to create
Damn.
after the network refused to finance, was filmed at Skid Row in Los Angeles, mainly on East 5th Street, to add authenticity to the production, but also promote peace between them. Michael had the idea to cast rival members of the Crips and Bloods, in addition to 80 genuine members, including members of the Barrio Nuevo Strata gang. Michael went out and got the gang members through LAPD's gang squad.
Now, artificial intelligence can generate ad creative.
Shout out to Mike. As you can see, he was a real one. He put everybody on. He put everybody in them positions to get paid. Cause he was looking for a certain style. You know, when you a perfectionist, you want it to look a certain way.
This is when Michael first connected with the East Coast Crips. The East Coast Crips are the largest Black American gang that are located on the east side of South Central Los Angeles. They have many sets, but for this video, members of the 7-6 East Coast Crips participated and were the only Crips used for the video. Michael went and sent out a bus that picked the Coast members from Florence and Hooper that took them to downtown LA to shoot the video. Initially, there was a few incidents between the 7-6 East Coast and rival Bloods that were on set, but Michael was able to bring them together, and they were able to coexist
Imagine Michael walking up. Hey, everybody, just chill, relax. Blunts and 40s on me.
peacefully. They were paid, fed. They also hung around Michael's trailer between takes,
He must have bought so much weed that day. It's ridiculous.
and he gave them autographed pictures
That's
and
what's
even
up.
tickets to the upcoming Victory Tour. Let's fast forward to 1987. After winning numerous accolades and skyrocketing into a stratosphere of his own, Michael released his highly anticipated album, Bad, in November of that same year.
This is where I get to saying that's not him.
Michael released The Way You Make Me Feel as the third single off the album. The video was also filmed at Skid Row in Los Angeles. For this production,
It's just, I don't know, it's so like weird because it's like, it sound like him. He danced like him.
Michael tapped in with the 89 East Coast Crips and personally selected them to be in
What do I know?
the music video. Boxer from 89 East Coast is seen in the infamous picture
Look at this nigga Mike. My boy Michael Jackson giving it up. What, Michael 7'4" Jackson? 7'6"? Am I fucking it up? No, shout out to Mike though. He was really in that. You feel me?
Where Michael was throwing it up with the East Coast Crips. Michael also had Latino gang members in the music video as well. In addition, Michael had various gangs come to the video shoot and decorate the background with gang graffiti, including Fido's Broadway Gangsta Crips, 107 Hoovers, Venice 13, 18th Street, and the East Coast Crips. During the video shoot, Michael was very comfortable and was genuinely happy that the Crips were getting their shine. Rumors began to spread in the street that the Crips were behind Michael and had his back. Eazy from NWA spoke on the alleged affiliation.
You said you were encouraging it. Look at Michael Jackson. He got all these gangbangers behind him and shit. They don't fuck with him.
That same year, Michael recorded the unreleased song, I'm So Blue, and followed that up with Blue Gangsta.
He was not playing with you, boy. At all. He was not playing.
Fans speculate that Michael hit a light Crip walk on stage to a Beyonce song.
I don't know. Was that a Crip walk?
Fans speculate that Michael hit a light Crip walk on
Somebody
stage
in
to
the
a
comments
Beyonce
verify
song.
that.
In the summer of 2003, Michael returned to Gary, Indiana. It was the first time he had been back in over 20 years. Amidst all the excitement of his visit, Michael bought out an entire Kentucky Fried Chicken and passed out pieces of chicken to his fans in the parking lot. Allegedly,
KFC,
Vice Lords and Gangsta disciples were at Michael's return, and they were allegedly crying and fainting. On June 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson died of a cardiac arrest at the age of 50.
R.I.P. Mike.
Over a 4-decade career, Michael's contributions to music, dance, and fashion made him a global figure and the biggest superstar ever. I'd like to thank you guys for watching.
Yo. Shit crazy, bro. But I can't let it go. That person, but in a sense, it can be the same guy because he was traveling internationally, so he was hip to like people bleaching their skin in other countries to get a lighter skin tone. So I could be wrong, but I could be right. You know what I'm saying? My boy Samuel L. Jackson said on the Boondocks.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
What?
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
Yeah, what he said. But we're going to wrap up this video right
Song,
here, man.
I'm So Blue.
Make sure y'all, I'm so blue and blue gangster. That nigga was really crippin'. Stop playing with him. He was tapped in. But we gonna end the video right there, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, turn them post notifications, turn them on, man. Tap in with me, man. We gonna stay consistent. We gonna stay dropping, man. And until next time, we gone.
I done came up, got my name up. So when they speak of who blinged up, I'm who they bring up.